Every year, I get the sense that the internet is becoming less human. These social media sites are like reflections of the worst side of humanity. And social media is getting better at emotional extraction from users. They know anger keeps people glued to their phones, so that's what they serve up. And in recent years, the invention of AI has turned the rage bait and all the other bad stuff that we associate with the internet on overdrive. Finding true information is like a needle in the haystack. Connection has been monetized, and all the different selling points that originally drove people to social media have basically been optimized out of existence. The way that these platforms function is that when they're new, they work perfectly so that people get addicted to them, and then they slowly bring in the slop. The iPad kids of Gen Alpha are going to be something unrecognizable to us. Imagine having your entire brain from cradle to grave being crafted by the algorithm. Oh my God, it's going to be so easy to sell those people shit. YouTube used to feel organic, like the most subscribed YouTuber was someone you could imagine yourself being. The community chose them. Now the once invisible hand of the site's owners is in plain view, and it's pretty obvious who they pick and choose and who they plan to suppress. And the decline of Instagram and Facebook is probably the best example of social media sites becoming evil. They've commodified the concept of friendship, and at the very least, when Instagram was new, you would go on the site and you would actually see your in real life friends. But now when you go on the site, all you see is The Rock or whichever celebrity the algorithm chooses to push on you that particular day. My theory is that the artificial intelligence has scanned user activity from the early 2010s and optimized it. So as time moves forward, we're going to see everything becoming more of a copy of a copy, and things will sort of be optimized to the point where seeing something original will just be shoved to the bottom of the recommended, even at all visible. Eventually, and we're already seeing this now, social media influencers will just literally be AI bots. The For You page doesn't reflect reality. It's designed to distort it. You're shown the loudest the algorithm has to offer, optimized for the most extreme version of everything, rotting your brain into an unrealistic interpretation of reality. For the foreseeable future, everyone you come in contact with will have some sense that society is collapsing at all times. The algorithm boosts exaggeration because it optimizes engagement. Thinking of social media users as individuals is a misnomer now. We're all categorized into customer packets that are sold to various advertisers. Social media is not designed to make people better at anything, but knowing what to buy, whether that be buying into an idea or a product. It's all the same, and it's all for sale now. You know that image of everybody standing in line looking at their phones while they walk off a cliff? I never imagined that that would be the particular dystopia that we end up with, but it's really starting to look like 2026 is shaping up to be exactly personified in that image. I was talking to someone the other day who was telling me, isn't everybody addicted to their phones now? For some reason, that stuck with me. I mean, I hear people say stuff like that all the time, but just it made me remember that there was a time when everybody didn't have the internet in their pocket and the internet was in the living room. At least back when I was younger, you had to go home and the internet was a place. It was a computer, and you'd go and you'd walk away from it when you were done with it, and then you'd come back to it when you wanted to do something online. And I don't want to give the wrong impression here. I'm a big fan of the internet. I've been using it my entire life. I think the internet's a great invention. It's just miraculous that these sites have degenerated to the point where they're just downright evil, and they're selling your data and all the other stuff, but that's sort of a topic for another time. Just the fact that they treat the users the way that they do. I mean, we had YouTube deleting the accounts of an untold amount of people for bullshit reasons recently, as they've turned their they basically turned on the AI to run everything and optimize everything. And it seems like that's the road that we're going to be going down as social media continues to be an optimized hellhole that turns everybody against each other because it sells advertisements or whatever. I think the main issue is that the human brain just wasn't evolved or can't evolve quickly enough to have access to information at the rate that we currently do. And the sites are able to optimize us to the point where there's really no hope that the average user has when facing the dopamine hellhole that's subjected to them when they turn on TikTok or whatever and see these AI, misinformation things that are constantly trying to drive user attention in one way or another. And lately, I've been seeing these trends where people are saying, oh, I'm going entirely offline. Well, that's a nice thought, but it's really not going to work on a massive scale. And that's really the whole point of what I'm trying to get across here is that the fact that social media and phones are becoming cheaper and more accessible to people all around the world just means that these problems are going to be more international. They're not going to be focused on certain areas where people can afford to be on the internet and stuff like that. It's going to become more and more of a crisis that humanity has to face altogether. Now, I don't imagine that at some point people are going to go around with baseball bats and smash their phones. People have already tried that. It doesn't work because the technology itself is way too addicting. I just wish these social media platforms would stop being so downright fucking evil. But I guess the reality is that the internet is just reflecting back to ourselves part of humanity that maybe we don't like to talk about too much. Maybe it's just showing us something about ourselves that was always there waiting and, just waiting to be activated by the tools that we now have at our disposal. Anyways, guys, that's all I have for now. Hopefully you've enjoyed this video. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And remember that social media isn't real. Don't let it rage bait you or ruin your day.